This is Inside the League with James Groh on the Global Sports Network. We get closer to the Olympics, it seems like there's always something going wrong. Another thing happens that makes headlines. Just a couple of days ago, the Australian national team, who admittedly wouldn't go into their rooms at first because of the poor conditions of the hotel, the infrastructure that just wasn't there. Shower curtains weren't put up, wiring wasn't finished. The Australian team was forced out of their building during a fire alarm. When they returned, some of their Zika shirts that are supposed to stop the mosquitoes from attacking them, and 2 laptops were stolen from Australian apartments. Some Australian athletes, reported seeing some firemen wearing their Australian team shirts. They weren't sure if somebody gave them to them or not. They decided not to question those firefighters. But either way, some shady business in the sense that some shirts were stolen and 2 laptops. Now, there's no excuse for the 2 laptops missing. That is grade A shady business. It's reported that the fire was started on a gas in a trash can. Infrastructure-wise, in a test to see if the plumbing could handle high volume of activities, a bunch of athletes in Olympic Village flushed their toilets all at once just to see what would happen. If you can't coordinate when everybody's going to the bathroom. So what happens if there's 5 people, 10 people all at once going to the bathroom? Well, what happened was the walls started to leak. Electricity started to short out, so some players lost power in their rooms, and there was a gas leakage. I think that's one of the strangest things, that there was an actual gas leakage. But it's one more problem that the Olympic Village and all of Brazil is facing with the Olympics. Stephen Wade of the Associated Press, who was actually there just on assignment to chronicle what the conditions are like, how Brazil's Olympic Village, how the stadiums are holding up, how public safety is. He got into his hotel, tried to take a shower. There was no hot water, and then the shower head actually fell off. You can see pictures on Twitter. Talking more about the Olympics, let's get away from all the bad stuff that's going on with the Olympics, and let's get to some of, the better stuff. So here's a quick little preview of what you can expect in the Olympics. The sports that are going to be included, because those are always slightly debated each year, what sports are you going to include, which ones aren't you going to have. Here's the rundown of sports. You've got archery, badminton, basketball, beach volleyball, boxing, canoe slalom, canoe sprint, cycling, BMX, road, mountain bike, and track, diving, equestrian, fencing, field hockey, golf, gymnastics, handball, judo, marathon swimming, modern pentathlon, rhythmic gymnastics, rowing, rugby sevens, sailing, soccer, swimming, synchronized swimming, table tennis, taekwondo, tennis, table tennis, track and field, triathlon, volleyball, water polo, weightlifting, wrestling. So in total, that's 42 different sports disciplines. That's going to equal 306 events. And, sport-wise, here's what I got to say about sports. You got events like golf, which fought really hard to get into this year's Olympics. But then, to be honest, I don't know what swim events he's participating in, but I know that he's not going to get 8 gold medals. He's going to do the 200-meter fly. I know that because that's his specialty. And then I also heard that he was not going to be in the 4x400 relay. But getting back to some of the sports that are and aren't included in the Olympics, athletes from sports who aren't in the Olympics say that they would give an arm and a leg just so they could be in the Olympics, and that it's unfair to some of these other it's unfair that golf gets to be in the Olympics when the best players in golf aren't even participating, when they can simply shrug off the Olympics. Well, for maybe not shrug off because they're citing Zika virus, but they're saying that why should golfers who don't even really care about Olympics have it as a sport, and then teams and players and athletes who really, really work hard day in, day out for 4 years, who want to be in the Olympics, where the Olympics is the pinnacle of their sport, don't get to be in it? Because let's be honest, you don't know who just won the Masters, or you don't know who just won the gold medal last year for golf in the Olympics, but you might know who won the Masters. You might know who won the PGA Championship, or which we'll get to later in this show, or who. No, I agree. Olympic golf is Augusta. Olympic golf is Augusta. It's the Masters. There's no gold medal at the top of the golf world. It's a green jacket. That's what players want. And if it's not the green jacket, it's hoisting up the British Open trophy. That's what it really is. Or maybe winning the Ryder Cup. That's the real international event for golf. But that's just Europe versus USA. So I don't think golf should be in it. Plus, golf is time consuming, as well as you've got to have a lot of field for a golf Olympics, because golf, yard wise, that takes up a lot of space. You got holes that are 550 yards. So that's just one more thing that Olympic committees of the host nation have to deal with. And especially, if you had the Olympics in California right now, in San Francisco or LA, and you said we have a golf tournament, people would be in an uproar because we've got a water shortage. We're in a drought, and you can't have that. So I'm just saying that, I think logistically wise, golf doesn't make sense, especially for the fact that, players don't care about it. Same thing goes for soccer. The Olympics is not the be-all, end-all of the sport. Look at this. You even have the International Champions Cup, the MLS, going on at the same time. The Olympics is not the be-all, end-all for these athletes, especially because most of them are going to be taking breaks after they've just had international duty, and they're trying to rest up for the club season, for their domestic clubs. I'm a big fan of soccer. You can see over here, Arsenal is the team. But it's just ridiculous. Now, I got to applaud the U.S. women's team for winning 4 gold medals in a row, and hopefully they can win a 5th. But, they shouldn't be in the sport. Wrestling, or shouldn't be in the Olympics. Wrestling should be in the Olympics. Wrestling is a great Olympic sport, just like boxing, where it's players who are kind of, athletes who don't get the recognition that they really need. And it's them finally getting to showcase what they've been working on for 4 years, especially when you think wrestling. Doesn't that just give you this Greek feel, going back to 500 BC and watching the Colosseum, two dudes just wrestling as hard as they can. It brings me back to that Olympic feel, that classic old-time Olympic feel, and I think that's what you want. You don't necessarily need the most popular sports. I think you do, but you don't, like golf, it's $1 billion sport, but you don't need it in the Olympics. Or what about canoe sprint or canoe slalom? What is canoe sprint or canoe slalom? That doesn't make any sense at all. I've never heard of those before. And I would much rather see something like wrestling or even skateboarding. I don't know. Throw something else. Throw an action sport in there. I guess you got BMX or karate. There's no karate, but there's judo and taekwondo. I might just be ignorant, but what's the difference? Why can you have 2 and you can't have 3? I've always thought synchronized swimming was kind of strange. Didn't really make much sense to me. Or rhythmic gymnastics, the dancing. I never really got that. So, out of the 42 sport disciplines, I've got some real gripes with some of them. Some I think are perfect for the Olympics. Sailing. I love sailing in the Olympics. Track and field. Swimming. Perfect for that. Even hockey. Field hockey, no. Winter hockey, that's different. But I guess field hockey gives, a chance for other athletes. But still, nobody cares about field hockey. Even, basketball is a borderline one because, yes, it's a worldwide popular sport, but it's not, I don't know if you consider it the top of the basketball world. NBA championship is for sure worth more. That's why you have a bunch of NBA stars who can elect not to play in the Olympics because they say, all right, I already got gold. Doesn't really matter anymore. So I say, bring in some sports that are kind of more amateur in regards to their popularity and, the money that they can possibly earn. And bring more sports that have that Olympic feel to them, and get rid of golf. Get rid of rhythmic gymnastics. And I think get rid of canoe slalom. What the hell is canoe slalom? But so out of all those sports that are being played, 206 countries are participating, none of which have less than 2 members. So the countries with the most participating athletes is the USA with 550. China has the most athletes out of any Asian country with 398. Brazil has the second most athletes competing overall and the most in South America with 464. Germany has the most out of any European team, 420. Australia has the most out of any oceanic countries, 405, and South Africa has the most athletes out of any African nation at 135. Now there's 9 countries with only 2 participants. 2 is the least amount of participants out of any country, and 5 of those countries are African nations. And here's an overall gold medal tally from all the Olympics that have ever been, or at least recorded. The USA has the most gold, silver, and bronze medals in the Summer Olympics, totaling 2,399 overall medals, according to Wikipedia. Next closest is Russia, if you count them with the Soviet Union, with 1,405, followed by Great Britain, 780, then France, 671, and Germany, 573. So the USA leads by a wide margin, having almost 1,000 more than the next closest. That's if you count the Soviet Union as, you count their medals. Otherwise, they've doubled the next closest medal count. So, testament to the USA's strength in athletics, or is it a testament to the USA's development programs, or is it a testament to how much money the U.S. has in order to spend on these type of things? And is it a testament? This is Inside the League with James Groh on the Global Sports Network.